Well, I start tonight with some breaking news. I can reveal the Prime Minister's flight upgrades were handled by Qantas senior executives, including Andrew Parker. Just before we went to air tonight, Anthony Albanese sought to downplay this scandal by saying in a statement that an audit found he never called Alan Joyce for upgrades. But sources familiar with the matter tell me it was Parker, the then Group Executive for Government and International Affairs, who often handled Albanese's flight upgrades to business class. I'm also told that Albanese even attended Andrew Parker's housewarming party. It was at a warehouse in Annandale. I understand there was even a plaque on his house that said it was officially opened by Albanese. I've tonight asked Albanese's press secretary for comment on this. I've asked the following questions. Did the Prime Minister, his EA or his staff request upgrades through Andrew Parker? Did the Prime Minister attend his housewarming? As we go to air, we don't as yet have a comment from the Prime Minister. If he does come back to us within the hour, I'll bring that to you. If he comes back to us a bit later, Paul Murray will bring it to you. There's a lot more to this story. Another very close connection is that Alan Joyce's top government relations executive was previously David Epstein. And David Epstein is now Albanese's principal private secretary. The Prime Minister's carefully worded statement tonight just raises more questions than it answers. He told Sam Maiden at news.com the Prime Minister did not ever call Alan Joyce seeking an upgrade. All travel has been appropriately declared and is a matter of public record. And that was through a spokesperson. Now, as you can see, that's a cryptic statement. Albanese has failed to rule out whether he requested upgrades through anyone at Qantas who worked for Alan Joyce. Could have been any of the senior executives, including Andrew Parker. And he only denied there calling Joyce directly. Have a look at that statement again. He says the Prime Minister did not ever call Alan Joyce seeking an upgrade. So he hasn't ruled out other forms of communication. And we've even seen this week that publicly the Prime Minister has already admitted there was a number that he called for upgrades. Have a look.
Did you call Alan Joyce personally for these upgrades?
The idea, Qantas have a number in terms of bookings that are private bookings.
So Albanese there already admitting requesting upgrades, which would appear to be in breach of the Ministerial Code of Conduct, which specifically states that ministers must not seek or encourage any form of gift in their personal capacity. Now, this all comes as former Prime Minister Tony Abbott today revealed that he turned down flight upgrades as a matter of integrity. And Peter Dutton has once again demanded that this matter be further investigated.
When he was Transport Minister of our country, did he pick the phone up to the CEO of Qantas and ask for a free upgrade? That's the question that he refuses to answer. Now, he can tie himself in all sorts of knots, but the reality is that he needs to answer that fundamental question.
Now, this has erupted into a major political scandal. It was front page of virtually all the newspapers today and yesterday. Yet the Prime Minister didn't appear in public today. He didn't want to answer questions in person. He got into such a muddle yesterday, as you know. So it was left to the Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, who was trying to announce falling inflation data, to have to deal with the tricky and basically unanswerable questions.
He's done a number of interviews this week and Sunday certainly, I think yesterday from memory, and so he's made himself available, as he often does, to answer these sorts of questions.
And you can only imagine how frustrating this would be getting for Labor MPs who, week after week now, are having to deal with questions about their Prime Minister's conduct and integrity. In the past 2 weeks, it was about the $4.3 million Clifftop Mansion. Also, the $100 million taxpayer-funded road upgrade for the road that leads to Albanese's new mansion. So if you're just tuning in, breaking news tonight, the Prime Minister has denied calling Alan Joyce for upgrades. He says his office has done an audit, but I've just reported that all of his upgrades to business class were handled by other executives at Qantas, including senior executive Andrew Parker. And at the time, he was the Group Executive for Government and International Affairs. He was later promoted to be Group Executive for Sustainability. And I've also revealed that the relationship was so close that Albanese even is said to have attended his housewarming party. We're on standby waiting for a response from Albanese to these fresh revelations. And I'm going to come back to this topic shortly with Michael Kroger and Graham Richardson. But clearly, this scandal isn't going away. There are serious integrity issues about whether Albanese requested upgrades from Qantas in breach of the Ministerial Code of Conduct.